All right, everybody, this is Nash here, and immediately after the Kansas State loss, I went fairly hard on this team. I was hard on the coaching staff. I was hard on everything about Texas because I was upset. I mean, I just watched a game that we should have absolutely dominated the opponent, and it wasn't even close. Yes, it was a good football team, but we still should have beat that team by a lot. And I think like that's the problem. But we have a very good football team. We do. This team has displayed the ability to be a very good football team, and we're going to highlight some of that today. Today, we're going to be talking about the positives, not just from Oklahoma State. To say Kansas State, but we're also going to be adding in Oklahoma State in a little bit, some Iowa State as well. But we're going to be talking some positives. We're also going to look at a little bit later the Big 12 overall, see how it's coming down the stretch, and then bowl games. Can we make it into a good bowl game? But without further ado, don't forget to hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what your positives are over not just this last week, but the last 3 weeks. All right, everybody. Well, not 3 weeks, 3 games. 4 weeks, 3 games. All right, everybody. Without further ado, let's get right into it. And immediately, the first positive that I got, it's too easy. The running backs. I mean, these dudes, Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson, are tearing it up out there. I mean, these dudes are nuts. Texas running back duo has 678 yards on 105 attempts combined in the last 3 games. That's 6.45 yards per attempt, 226 yards per game. I mean, if you're an opposing defense and you're having to go up against Roschon Johnson and Bijan Robinson, and I probably should say it the other way around, Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson, I mean, you got to be pissing your pants, piss down, run your legs. I mean, literally, Iowa State was one of the better run defenses that we'll see all year, outside of Bama. And Kansas State wasn't that bad. Oklahoma State, they had a very good run defense as well. Not as statistically good as Iowa State's, but they were up there. And it's crazy to think these guys are not just against bad rushing team defenses, but against some really good ones. And it's not crazy to think, but it's nice to see. These dudes are out there, they're going out there and they're dominating in the run game. That's an easy positive to get out of the way. I wanted to highlight those guys first real quick. Now, and I also want to add in, that's not even counting the receiving game. They've added more into the receiving game as well. These dudes are legit players. Now, Jaylan Ford playing well. Woo. Forced fumble recovery, INT all in that last game. So not only is he out there forcing them, he's recovering them, and he's getting an interception. As a defensive player, he's provided you every single type, and I think he got a sack too as well. Maybe I'm talking out of my, you know what, but he's out there causing havoc on the football field. 10 tackles as well. He had 3 games straight where he didn't have 10 double-digit tackles, so it was nice to see him get back on that, leading the team in tackles. Jaylan Ford has been playing his butt off this year, and he's made himself some money this year. He has. Now, something that was lost on me until starting to do this video, Jaylan Ford was the guy to recover the fumble from both Decker and Martinez. So he's the guy that sealed the win versus Iowa State and Kansas State. Close games where we need this fumble. We need that. Well, Jaylan Ford's gotten it for us. And it's time to give him his flowers. We've been giving him his flowers all year long, but it's time to give him some more. More, and more. That dude playing his butt off. Now, my other positive from the Oklahoma State game, seeing Anthony Cook out there. I'm a big Anthony Cook fan. That was one of, I don't really follow recruiting too much. And I remember it was 80% Ohio State, 20% Texas. And then we got him, and it was like, yeah, we got him. Well, Anthony Cook is that dude. He's out there running around with a cast on, you know. And there was one play that I noticed where he just absolutely flew in, and I wish I had it on hand right now for y'all, but he just flew in with no regard for his life or anybody else's. And it's just, while you see a bunch of other Texas defenders kind of almost waiting, and yes, there is a certain aspect of not wanting to vacate an area because you don't want too many guys trying to go and make one play, but swarming to the ball. Anthony Cook was coming in like somebody just talked bad about his grandma or something like that. I love to see it with a broken arm, cast on. Love to see that dude playing. He's a beast. We're going to need him down the stretch. Now, there was some positives from the Oklahoma State game. There's obviously more. Like the fact that we just absolutely dogged the crap out of them for the first half. And although I did not want to venture down that street because that leads to a negative, but I'm not going to talk about that because we're only talking about positives right now. I almost forgot. Ja'Tavion Sanders. Holy crap. That dude, most of his production came in the first half. That guy is a beast. I love me some Ja'Tavion Sanders. Oh man. I'm sorry. I'm mad at myself because I almost forgot about this. 5 receptions, 54 yards, 10.8 average, long of 18. Jaleel Billingsley got some work in there too, as well as Keelan Robinson. I was so happy seeing that early on. Man, it's just like, why did we go away from it? But nevertheless, Ja'Tavion Sanders, absolute positive. Want to see more from him. I'm not trying to go negative down this video. Only talk about positive things. Love to see that. Now, here we I talked about the Big 12. Okay, let's talk about the Big 12 playoffs. Big 12 is going to be one of the hardest leagues to get into, the playoff. It's just that, and really the SEC is looking kind of hard. But for the most part, all these other conferences, like USC, you can basically count them into the playoff as well. It's going to be, sadly so, Michigan and Ohio State are stuck in the same conference, and only one of those guys can get. That should be the most cut and dry conference in the world for the playoff game, for their conference. It should be Ohio State and Michigan rematch. They're going to play up in a few weeks, whether it's this week. It's probably this week. It's probably shame on me for not knowing that, but that should be the rematch. Like those are clearly the two best teams in the Big Ten, and the fact that one of those teams will probably just get completely left out, or no, the fact that not probably will get completely left. It's a shame. It's a damn shame. But so I talked about we got a strong conference. I mean, we do have 4 guys ranked in the top 25 in the AP poll, but this is actually the college football playoff rankings. Now I'm thinking about that. But there's something that I noticed earlier going through. When you're talking about the top 21 strength of schedules, every single Texas Longhorn football team, every single Big 12 football team is in the top 21. Really, it's West Virginia's at 21. That's why I'm not saying top 20. Outside of that, the rest of the Big 12 has had a top 20 strength of schedule, meaning we are playing harder schedules than anybody else. The SEC is also right up there with us, but not as much, not as frequent. The Big 12 goes through a gauntlet of games, and it's because we have to play each other, every single team. You don't get, there's no getting lucky, and you don't have to run into TCU or Oklahoma State on the schedule. Or in some cases, for some teams, yes, this year, getting lucky would mean not having to run to Texas. So this Big 12 playoff, it's going to get really interesting, especially if Texas beats TCU. it really starts to get interesting because a lot of these top teams are playing each other. We got Baylor and TCU left on the schedule, as well as Kansas. Those are all top 5 Big 12 teams. Kansas has an outside chance of making the Big 12 championship, as well as Oklahoma State. I mean, you're talking about 6 teams that really, whether it's an outside chance or they got a chance. And so getting a chance to making it in that game, let's go to the bowl game projections. Means you got a chance of making it in that one. That's the Big Daddy right there. That's the game that you want to be in if you're a Big 12 team. That's our only major. Well, okay. You also got the at-large bowl games, but I only think we're getting one team in to a big bowl game. But Texas versus LSU is the current projection. That would be a fun game, wouldn't it? The Sugar Bowl. I mean, yeah, you're probably going to have an LSU heavy crowd if this does indeed happen. But man, that would be a fun game to watch. I'm just kind of showing this just to show this is the game that we get this year. The Big 12 gets. This is the prize package. Like, this is the one that you want to get. This is the Big Daddy. You don't want to end up in the Alamo Bowl, the Texas Bowl, whatever other bowls we get. I mean, the hamburger, leftover hamburger, cold fries bowl, you know? Well, we want to get December 31st, Sugar Bowl, basically a complete remake of Tom Herman's 2018 season, his second year. How funny would that be if Texas actually goes 10-3? And it's like a complete it's Sark's second year. Herman was 7-5 the first year. Sark was 5-7. We've reversed that, but it would be. I mean, that's the dream right now. The dream is going 10-3, beating TCU, getting that. It sounds bad to say, but exercising those demons of playing Kansas. And Kansas isn't that bad this year, but if there's one game we cannot lose on the schedule, it's Kansas. So going 10-3, that would be a dream. I mean, this team, they've clearly showed that they have the ability to do so. We're playing at home this week. Hopefully, Longhorn Nation, show out. Let's sell out this stadium. I'm gonna be there. Been there every week. Show up. Get DKR packed. Also, tune in to Texas basketball tonight. Devin Duvernay, right there. Devin Duvernay about to go on Monday Night Football and tear it up. Mark Andrews is sitting. He's the wide receiver 1 right now. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Hope I was positive enough in this video because there are some positives to talk about for Texas Longhorns. And there is still stuff left on the table for us. I mean, this season already is an improvement over last year. We're 1 year better. 1 win better. But 10-3, if we can make it to 10-3, that would mean so much improvement, and especially in season 2. That's the other thing. If we do end up making it to 10-3, we've improved along the way in season, and not just in season. In the last half of the season, let's make the rest of the season about building momentum for 2023. And I know it sucks to sit here and say next year. Well, let's make next year the year. Let's build momentum, get some nice pieces. But first, in order to do that, we got to win some games. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Hook 'em!